Your crimes, Mark? Yes, what are your crimes, Mark? You beat your wife, you kick a pup. We'll find your crimes and rake it up. Did you laugh at Hubbard? That's not nice, and now you'll have to pay your price. So what are your crimes, Mark? What have you done? Oh, it's too late now. Fair game's begun.
Well, hello, and well, oops, that's not right. Hi, everybody. Here I am. Sorry about the false opening here. You're watching Chaos. Steph, I'm sorry. Kelly, sorry for keeping everybody waiting. Lupita, parasocial audience. Hail Lord Mark of Farsec. Okay. Janet from another planet. Hey, Mark. Nice to see you. Hello to everybody. JB 808. Hank 209. What's this one say? CO Bilf. Hooray for Mark Bunker. Let's stop the cyclos and Scientology abuse. There you go. I don't know if you saw the graphic that I have for this, but I created a stunning image of Slappy Miscavige as Turl. And that was one of the reasons I'm late tonight, because I thought, hey, I need a good image for the video. I need a thumbnail. So I tried him as Johnny Goodboy and him as Turl. And I decided to go with the Turl. Ho, Cats Meow, first time in chat. Hello to you. Welcome. Nice to have you here. I know there's folks from other parts of the world. Like I've got a fellow who's been helping. He's been doing all the time codes for my videos. So we're going back and with his assistance, I'm putting up time codes for longer videos. Trev Anon, and he's over in Europe, and he says, hey, can you do one when I'm awake? So I will do that at some point. But for now, we're doing it when I'm awake, which is rare. Hello from Western Washington, CJ, my never-in avatar. How about that? Welcome to you. Who we have here? Is that Mr. Matt or Master Matt? Mark, I first watched one of your videos 15 years ago. Thanks for keeping up all your great work all these years. Well, thank you for watching. So I've got some things tonight that are related to showbiz, and some of my adventures as well. And I've got a couple other things, a couple things that you haven't seen before, a couple of things that I've had online, but I've upscaled to 4K. Oh, speaking of which, right now I am busy at upscaling the shrinking world of L. Ron Hubbard. I can't promise it's going to be a thing of beauty, but I will say you're going to have a much better look at those teeth. This is what, a 20-minute video, I think, and it's taking 18 hours plus in order to upscale it. But I'm trying to get a really sweet copy. I got it. Well, I'll talk more about that when we premiere it on another night. But I got a copy straight from the man who made the film, and it's unmixed. So there's the natural sound in the interviews with Hubbard, and then there's the reporter or journalist or filmmaker on the other track doing the narration. And so I'll meld those together, I guess. But it also gives me a chance to find just a little bit more of just natural sound of L. Ron Hubbard on the deck of the ship. So I don't know, I'll isolate that stuff and show you some of that when we get to that video, which I hope maybe tomorrow night. Who's here from Australia? Why, it's Susan King. Hello to you, Susan. Mark, I love what you're putting out. Thank you. Yeah, that's one thing about Mark. He puts out. People around the world are saying that. Mark puts out. Oh, those, let's see. Misty, that's me. Those teeth give me nightmares. Well, just you wait. For a while, I had it as a screensaver. So you just would smile. And I said, you know, enough of that. The teeth were bad, but the suit in those Shrinking World clips was fly. Well, it's true. Smart dresser. Wise Mama, hey there to you. Jay, you don't put out enough. I'm late, but here. Well, you know, I appreciate that. I really want to be doing this daily. Daddy's had to go out and make some money, as little as it may be. I don't know. You may have seen the short video that I put up the other night. I've been making a little extra cash with Uber, driving for Uber. And I put up a video explaining how I had been called to the Fort Harrison Hotel to pick up a Scientologist there, and what happened once I arrived. So if you haven't seen that, it's on my YouTube channel. But whew, I got bills piling up here, so every little bit helps. Let's see. Oh man, your poor eyes. Oh yeah, from the watching that clip. Yeah. Who do we have here? NM. Hi, Mark. Nicole from Indiana. So nice to see you live. You too. You're looking sweet. Thank you for being here with your lovely kitty. Jay, do you get income from YouTube on views? Yeah, I do. So go ahead and put them on in the background if you want. Just keep Xenu TV rolling 24 hours a day. And Kelly's put the link up there to help support what I'm doing here. And there's lots of projects that I'm working on behind the scenes that are kind of keeping me away from. Go ahead and remove that. You know, like when I made the spoof of the Scientology, I am a Scientologist video. Well, doing something like that took, I think, at least 3 days. Pretty solid work of writing it, creating the images, animating the images, recording the voice track, putting different character voices to it, and assembling it all. So it's, you know, and those are the things that I really enjoy doing. And that kind of keeps me away from doing more of this. So I'm trying to get a balance, but I've been working on a few more of those AI type of things. Plus, I've got a stage show in mind that I really want to do. And I have been working on writing that as well, including creating some songs for it, which you will hear at some point. But I'm busy behind the scenes being as suppressive as possible. I'm dedicated to being suppressive. I don't want to let Slappy off the hook here. Wise Mama says, if you haven't watched the 1982 Clearwater City hearings, then you are in for a treat. Great to binge watch. Yeah, it's true. The quality is not great on those. These are tapes that I got from the city of Clearwater back in, it was 98 or 99, probably 99. We went to the, I guess it was the police department. But from there, they were able to give us copies of the week's worth of testimony on VHS tapes. And they said, this is it. We're not giving these out anymore. I'm tired of running off like 8 videotapes, 2-hour videotapes. So that's it. And I said, well, that's no problem. I'm going to put them online so anyone can watch them anywhere in the world. So you just relax. I got this covered. So that was one of the earliest things that I did online is making those available for everybody to see. And you've got Paulette Cooper, you've got Ron Jr., Ron DeWolf. You've got so many folks with fascinating stories. And it was all done in the council chambers that I used to go to when I moved back here. Well, I moved here in Clearwater in 2000, and I would occasionally go and speak at the podium for 3 minutes about Scientology. And I was always in awe of the fact that this is the room. This is the very room where those hearings were held. That's where the mayor and all the council members sat for it. Oh my God, this is great. And then that old building had to be closed because it was riddled with asbestos and it was not doing what it needed to do for the city. Even if they had cleaned out the asbestos, it was too small. So we're finally building a new one. And, I was one of the key votes in getting the new city hall finally done. And we had the money set aside for that since 2017. There was $30 million waiting there, earmarked for the city hall. And no one could make up their mind of where it was going to go. And it was one of the first votes that I took on the city council. They gave us the choices of lot A, B, or C. And it was up to us on the council to decide which one of those you'd want. And I thought, well, this is going to be easy. I say B. And it turned out the answer was none of the above because we could not agree on moving forward with it. And then in the last year that I was on the council, we actually finally approved it, and we've started construction of it. Approving the new city hall caused our mayor at the time to resign in mid-meeting. We said, yeah, we want to go ahead with the city hall. And he just took a 5-minute break, came back from the recess and said, I'm not the person for this council. And then quit, which was fine. I was not upset about that. But then he worked behind the scenes trying to undermine everything that we were doing after that. And that I wasn't as happy about. But they've started construction on it now, and I will drive by occasionally and just look at what's been going up so far and the digging that's been going on in other places. And I'm just happy that I had a hand in finally getting that done. And once it's done, we need to hold another week's worth of hearings. There's lots of new stuff to report on. I'm off on a tangent. How about that? Oh my God, Scientology, the musical. Think Book of Mormon with a twist. Yeah, there has, I mentioned this once before, there has been a musical already called something like the Scientology Children's Christmas Pageant. And I've got the CD of that. So one night soon, why don't we? Let's talk about that and play some of the songs from that. Excuse me. So yeah. I've got 2 or 3 songs written already, composed, and I'm looking forward to finding some place to mount this production. I hope I can premiere it here in Clearwater. Wise Mama, Did you know Paulette Cooper was sent to Auschwitz as a young child? This info as it is Holocaust Remembrance Day. Oh, I've been so busy, I haven't noticed that was Holocaust Remembrance Day today. She shared that story in the book that she co-wrote with Tony Ortega. Scientologist does Clearwater is my vote for a Scientology video. Okay. Spock is here? Wait a minute. Bridget says hi to Spock. Where's Spock? How'd I miss Spock? I don't want to miss Spock. Well, if you are here, Spock. Spock. I can't believe it. Spock. I'll occasionally go into a thank you. Spock hates Scientology. Oh, here. Well, hey, Spock. I can't stop doing this. But when I get into an elevator by myself and the doors close, I always like to pretend that I'm on the lift going up to the bridge. So I'll turn and go, Spock, I can't believe. And I do that to entertain myself. And hopefully there's lots of security footage of me all around the country going, Spock. Because I just love saying Spock, which I don't know if you noticed, but at one point in the first remake with Chris Pines as Kirk, toward the end of the film, he does do a Spock. Oh, great. That's wonderful. Let's see. Also, Heber versus Phil Donahue on Xenu TV, another good one. Well, I've got other good things to bring forward that you haven't seen yet. I did just put up a 4K version of Missing in Happy Valley. And if you haven't watched this documentary from 1999, it's well worth checking out. It's got Jesse Prince, Stacey Brooks. It's got people protesting in Clearwater. Jerry Armstrong's in it. All sorts of folks. It's a really good documentary. And I got a copy of that early on too, like 99. And it was in German, but I had a script for it. So with, as Spock would say, using bear skins and I forget what it is from City on Edge of Forever, but it did not have the tools to really do it right. But I did record an English translation of the video and lay it on top of the German. And it was then, a tiny little reel video format. So to get a really good copy put up by the filmmakers recently, I decided, well, we got to make this look a little bit better. So I put it up in 4K on my channel, and it really looks beautiful. I wish that I could make every video look as good as that one. Even though I got The Shrinking World of L. Ron Hubbard, which, as I mentioned for folks who are just joining us now, I am converting that to 4K, but it's from a DVD. A DVD of the master show right from the production company and the producer. So it's the best copy that I'm going to get my hands on. But I'm trying to improve it at least somewhat. Commodore Kirk, yes. Just tuning in. Always a pleasure to see Wise Beard Man. Thank you, Old Frizz. You'll be happy to know that I've just been spending time here, kind of telling stories and not really getting into the meat of the matter. So I find myself going off on tangents pretty much all the time. My life is full of tangents. So as I was saying, that's something good to take a look at. Missing in Happy Valley. I've got a couple other things here tonight I'm going to show that haven't been seen before, and some things that have, some things that I've upscaled. But I thought I'd bring this one to your attention. I'm not going to play the whole thing here because it's in German, and I don't know German, but thankfully my computer does, and it could make a transcript. And so I've got it up there with English transcript, and the quality on this one is pretty good. I got this from a VHS tape that I've had sitting around for a while. Let me put it on here, and we'll just take a peek at it. This is a German show, and I added it to this stream because I'm talking tonight pretty much about Scientology and Hollywood. And this one is tangentially related because this is when Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes got married. And on this German show, they bring in the head of one of the European orgs, and I don't remember which now, but talking about what Katie Holmes has to look forward to. Let me just add to
meine Gäste seid. Mein nächster Gast war 28 Jahre lang ein hochrangiges Mitglied von Scientology, jener Psychoorganisation, die vor allem auch durch prominente Namen wie Tom Cruise oder John Travolta immer wieder den Weg in die Schlagzeilen schafft. Dann kam eine schwere Lebenskrise, eine Krebserkrankung, bei ihm das Umdenken und schließlich der Aus...
Well, there you go. So if you go to my channel, I have this, this isn't published yet. I have a whole bunch of things like this that I have prepared to launch. And when we're done with this stream, I will make all of these things publicly available so you can watch them and watch them with the subtitles as should be. So can I remove that? Let's go back to me. Where's... Oh, I'm not plugged in there. Okay. There we go. I'll just push that. Have I upscaled the BBC documentary Secret Lives? I haven't. I've tried. The quality that I have on the VHS tape does not seem to be good enough to actually do it properly. I wish I could make beautiful, pristine copies of all of these old shows. And I was able to do that with Missing in Happy Valley because the guys who made it, who came to Clearwater, I went out with them as they were filming a documentary in Clearwater back in 2000 when we got attacked with a hammer. And this guy came and smashed my camera a couple of times with a hammer. So I've kept in touch with them all these years, and I didn't tell them I was upscaling this. I just went ahead and did it, sent them the link before I put it online for anyone else, just to say, hey, I did this if you guys want to use it at all. And they were thrilled. And so if you want to see it, Xenu TV is the place to go. Let's see. Uh-oh. YouTube watcher has a question. What's the question? I'm waiting. As soon as that pops up here, let me know in case I miss it. So along with this thing on Katie Holmes, well, let me just show you, just for levity. I used to watch. Let's see what Henry's got. Henny rather. Henny Sinkoff. Hi, Mark. I always saw connections with the music industry in Hollywood. Thought initially Michael Fox was poisoned by Scientology. How ironic Ashton knew Danny Masterson. Say me? I don't think there's anything ironic about their connection. Michael J. Fox, I met a few times. I worked at Paramount, and I would occasionally go in and watch rehearsals of Family Ties. And he was just taken off. He was filming Back to the Future at that point. And so his stand-in did a lot of the work during the rehearsals. But let me give you a little connection with the music industry in Hollywood that I'm involved with. Here's my personal anecdote. I had an agent as an actor when I first started out in LA that I loved. Oh, she was wonderful, and I got a lot of work through her. Did a lot of voiceovers, did commercials, industrial videos, things like that. Never anything big. I think the biggest thing network-wise was an under 5 on The Young and the Restless, which, my mom, it was one of her favorite shows. So my mom and all my relatives back in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, they still talk about that to this day. The fact that I had like 2 lines, if that. No, I think it was just 1 line. Let me recreate it for you. The scheming female lead in the show was going to the bank to dig up something that had been in a private lockbox. And so it was my duty to go and unlock it and bring it out and say, "Here you are, Mrs. So-and-so. Let me know when you're finished." Oh, and I was brilliant. I don't know why I wasn't nominated for that. But I tell you, this was the first time that I had these giant TV cameras with CBS plastered on the side of them. And they wanted to get a close-up of me putting the key in the lock, and my hand was trembling. So that did not get used. I was just, oh my God, it's CBS. So that, that stopped my career dead right there. Anyway, she was a terrific agent. And then she split off to form her own agency, and I went along with her and her partner for that. But she got hit with lawsuits from the agency where she left. And eventually that was shuttered. So I was without an agent for a few years, and I decided I'm going to try getting back into this again. I'm going to get an agent and get out there and start doing some more auditions. And I did. And one of the things I had to go to was an audition for a music video. Don't ask me for who. I just know that I showed up there on Hollywood Boulevard at this little rental hall. And there were a couple other actors hanging out, waiting to audition as well. And one was going, "Well, I just shot this commercial over here." And the other one is, "Hey, I just had a part on Barney Miller or whatever." And it came to me, and I had nothing on tape in a couple of years. I said, "Well, I'm working on a script about Scientology. Of course, if it ever got made, I'd wind up dead in a ditch somewhere." From that comment, I got a call from my new agent saying, "A friend of a friend wants to talk to you. Here's their number." And I didn't recognize the name of this person, and I didn't know the number, so I blew it off. And a week later, the agent called back, very angry, saying, "They are accusing us of not giving you this message. A friend of a friend has a job for you. Call them." I went, "Oh, okay, a job? Well, all right, I'll call." So I dial the number, and it's the head of the Celebrity Center in LA. And he says to me, "We understand you're writing a movie about Scientology." And listen, this was before I had shown my face anywhere. And this had me freaked out. I was like, well, I was joking. Why would you joke about a thing like that? I don't know. And I just hung up. And then I let the machine answer when he called back. But I thought that was, wow. Wow. They are everywhere in Hollywood. It's true. An offhand comment like that at an audition for a music video. And they go to the trouble of tracking me down through the agency. Good Lord. So that was one of the early freaky moments of my fight against Scientology. And of course, after that, I went, I ought to make a movie about this. So I've been working on that now for 17 years, I think. Hopefully there's some progress that's going to be made on Knowledge Report, my documentary. I hope you enjoyed that little story. Somewhere I've got the audio tape from the answering machine where they called back. I'm going to have to dig that out and see if I can get that captured so I can play it. Okay. So we're talking about Katie Holmes. Let me play this. This is an incidental video, but I thought it's something that I've never shown anywhere. And I thought it would be kind of fun to take a look at it. I used to watch Countdown with Keith Olbermann every day. I enjoyed Keith and his sense of humor. And then when he'd occasionally go on a rant, angry rant, that would say, "President Bush, resign now." And, okay, Keith, you got to back off a little. And I found out that now he's been doing Countdown, the exact same show, the same format, everything about it. He's been doing as a podcast for a couple of years now. So I've been catching up with him there. And he'll now he's changed, because now he'll go, "President Trump, resign now." So a world of difference. Anyway, Keith always had sense of humor about much of what he did, and he brought on a comic for the wedding of Tom Cat, and I thought maybe you'd like to watch this with me. Let's take a look, shall we? This is a comic that he has on here that I like as well. Paul F. Tompkins. I can't think of his name. I think that's right. But he was one of the several rotating comics who would occasionally come on to goof on things. So
I still have no
let's
idea.
take a look at Keith. Oh, come on. Go ahead.
And bets are surely being taken on how long it will last. But our number. We still have no idea if it will be legal, and bets are surely being taken on how long it will last. But our number one story in the countdown tomorrow will mark day one of a marriage, and the heavens may rejoice by unfolding with multiple UFO sightings that will rip the sky like a sheet over the union of Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. Our frequent political guest, Craig Crawford, who is vacationing in Italy, confirms rumors that Cruise's midsection has widened, as have the number of celebrity invitees roaming the streets of Bracciano, like John Travolta, Will Smith, Jim Carrey, Jennifer Lopez, David Beckham, Brooke Shields. Russell Crowe and Steven Spielberg also invited. Oprah Winfrey was not. Since twice divorced Cruise cannot marry Ms. Holmes in a Catholic ceremony, it's Scientology to the rescue. But local authorities said Mr. Cruise had not asked for permission for a civil service, so the wedding may be purely ceremonial, which is fine since that's all that Planet Xenu requires. As for that Scientology service, it is somewhat traditional. The bride wears white, the man and woman exchange rings, but the 5 possible wedding rituals were all written by L. Ron Hubbard in the 1950s, which could explain why the script of one of those sermons reads like this, quote, "Now girls need clothes and food and tender happiness and frills, a pan, a comb, perhaps a cat," end quote. Also, curiously, the complete Scientology Book of Ceremonies weighs 10 pounds. That doesn't even include the cat. Joining us now, our resident Tomcat specialist, comedian, frequent contributor to VH1's Best Week Ever, Paul F. Tompkins. Paul, good evening.
Good evening to you, Keith.
All right, we get a sense of the Scientology ceremony there is written by L. Ron Hubbard, including that bit about how girls need a pan, a comb, perhaps even a cat. Does it have to be in that order, Paul? First the cooking, then the grooming, then you get a cat?
Absolutely. You have to first prove that you can cook and make yourself presentable before you're allowed to handle a house pet, because there's an off chance that that animal may turn out to be the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah. Now, we also know that this entire book of Mr. Hubbard's Scientology ceremonies weighs 10 pounds. Do you get the feeling that perhaps there's some other stuff in there that has not been revealed to the public?
Oh, there's tons of stuff, but it's not as sinister as you might think it is. It's just that Scientology has a ceremony for everything, for opening a door, making coffee, masking your homosexuality by hiring a minor actress to be your legal wife, you know, that sort of thing. They just love pomp.
Yeah, you know those old ads. Page 78, how to mask your homosexuality by hiring a minor actress to be your wife as a prop. Speaking of that, that 10-pound total there, these stories about Tom Cruise reportedly plumping up. I mean, there are descriptions of the buttons on his shirt pulling against the holes. How bad is it? Do you know?
Well, he has been cited in the Versace store shopping in the husky section of the boys department.
Is that perhaps in preparation for a new movie role, or now that he's in his third marriage, is he finally ready to be a couch potato instead of just a couch jumper?
Well, the weight gain is actually a reflection of his climbing up the ladder in Scientology. The higher you get, the more weight you gain. So you look at Travolta, he's obviously up there pretty well. And according to a recent Oprah appearance, Kirstie Alley, I think, got demoted for something.
Now, Brooke Shields, it's odd enough that Brooke Shields is there, but she was quoted as saying, "I hope they remember this whole weekend." Is that a blessing from her, or a curse, or is it just a warning against the effects of on memory of excessive use of psychoanalytical drugs?
It's actually Brooke trying to sort of charmingly downplay the gift that she got Tom and Katie, which was a box set of the entire series of Suddenly Susan, which includes all never-before-seen episodes, the entire series.
That's right. And, of course, a bonus DVD with the Blue Lagoon in it. The local media there reporting guests are going to receive towels embroidered with the couple's initials. And what are the guests supposed to do with towels?
Well, if you've been lucky enough to be invited to that wedding, read your invitation carefully, because you are expected to change your initials. Tom and Katie want this to be special. So, you know, they'd like you to play ball because they don't want to put anybody in an underwater cave.
So we've got, as a last point, we've got prime positions for paparazzi being sold. We've got satellite truck parking being permitted. How are the spaceships from Xeno going to land discreetly under those conditions?
Look, if internet pranksters can disguise a water gun as a microphone, I think Tom Cruise knows how to camouflage some light spacecraft. You know what I'm saying? Is that a horse-drawn carriage? Well, why does it have a tractor beam?
Comedian Paul F. Tompkins, contributor to VH1's Best Week Ever, and, of course, contributor to the chronicling of the events like this one that alter and illuminate our times. Paul, thanks for being with us again.
Hail Xenu, Keith.
It's countdown for this, the 1,294th day since the declaration of mission accomplished in Iraq. From New York, I'm Keith Olbermann. Good night and good luck.
All right. Well, so if you want to still follow Keith anywhere you get your podcast, just Countdown with Keith Olbermann, and he's on YouTube as well with the channel. I contacted Keith Olbermann's show when the Tom Cruise tape leaked, and I had I had a hand in that. There were a whole bunch of people who were working behind the scenes to get that tape out. And I was the guy with video capture equipment. So they actually got it to me, and I put it together on a file and put it out online. And I'll do that. I'll tell that whole story at some point. But I got freaked out almost instantly. Just one little facet of the story. I was putting it up, hopefully on a private site, so we could send a link to journalists and let them access it and write some stories about it. And as soon as I did that, I think it was Gawker or Radar. I don't know. I don't remember which one. But they put up an article with links to the videos. And in the comments, Mark Ebner was there and said, "Hey, that was put up by Mark Bunker." And I went, "Oh," and I took it down instantly because, oh my God, I never put up any copyrighted Scientology material. I didn't want them to come after me the way they did Dennis Ehrlich and other folks who had copyright infringement. So I freaked out, took it down, and then reading online, everyone was blaming Scientology for removing it. It was like, oh my God, that didn't take long. Scientology got rid of that video. And Mark called me and was saying, "Oh yeah, you gotta put it back up." And I was hesitant to do it, but I thought, what the heck? I'm gonna put it up in a private link, and I'm gonna send it to Keith Olbermann's show, and said, "Okay, if you want it, here it is." And ironically, they were the one show on the face of the planet that never showed any video of the Tom Cruise tape. But I started to upload it at night. I had everything listed as private, except I accidentally forgot to make private the one clip that everyone thinks of, where he's going, "Hey, we're the only people who can help." So that was released out into the wild. And then seen everywhere. Every single show on the planet was playing clips from this. And that went on for like a week. And finally on Friday night, I sat down on the couch, relaxed, watched, I think it was 2020, doing a story on it. And I looked over at my computer on the floor, and I went, that tape came from that computer. Of course, it went through a lot of other hands to get it to my computer. And I don't mean to take all the credit for leaking the tape, because it was everyone who got the tape to me that made the big difference. Anyway, I told you more of the story than I thought I would. Old Fritz, you've never heard of Keith Olbermann? Yeah, well, take a look. He's out there. He's I think he's still interesting and entertaining. I know, right, Mark? Freaky Days. You watched to see what happened at posting. Well, I think I'm. Let's go back to your earlier one. Witnesses saying, "Oops, oh, I missed it." Well, how about that? Keith Olbermann's birthday today. Happy birthday! Oh, one thing I like about Keith, he knows all the references that I know from my obsessive love of media. So he'll be quoting Bugs Bunny or Groucho Marx and these phrases from the past that movie buffs like me can go, "Oh yeah, okay, he really knows this." So what else? Well, let's get back to some of the stuff. And again, that Keith, I'll publish that as soon as we're done with this live stream. So as part of making my attempted documentary knowledge report, I went to the opening of Kirstie Alley's Organic Liaison store. This was something that she created in 2011. It was this drink that we got these little samples out on the street, and oh my God, it was horrible. But it was supposed to curb your diet, curb your hunger, and the weight will just slip away. So that opened in 2011 with a big street party, and she had music blaring that could be heard cities away. I mean, it was deafening. But I tried to have a nice time there. We had fun. When we got there, folks were setting up, and they had a place for the media on the red carpet, so you could set up your equipment and interview people as they walked by. And I said, okay, well, let's get up there. So we put the camera up there, and I was waiting, but then security came over and said, no, you're out of here. So we had to, stay in the back and watch from the street. But we had fun, and I got to talk to a few people. You'll see that in this video. So let's take a look at this. I just upscaled this to 4K. And this is how it went. We're here at the grand opening of Kirstie Alley's Organic Liaison. There's lots of Scientologists flocking around. They're not happy with me being here. Tell us a little bit about Organic Liaison.
Well, it's the first ever organic weight loss program, basically. It's like a supplement that you take that basically helps with craving, flushes out the body, gets rid of any bad things.
Are any of these organic supplements, are they used in Scientology processes at all?
No. I mean, these ones, there's certain things, certain vitamins and stuff that, Scientologists take, for certain things we do in the church just to help that. My mother is a Scientologist, obviously, but the Organic Liaison really, other than the fact that she's a Scientologist, they're not affiliated.
So I was just curious whether you read the New Yorker magazine article about Paul Haggis.
I didn't.
Have you heard about the stories of David Miscavige physically beating people on staff?
I have not.
Okay. You ever go to Marty Rathbun's blog, Moving Up a Little Higher? He's a former executive. He and Mike Rinder used to be in charge of the office.
I don't know any of those people.
Really? You don't?
I don't.
Okay. So if David Miscavige was beating his staff, would you?
I don't know anything about that.
Are you interested in, now that you've heard that, would you be interested in Googling that at some point?
No.
No? You have no interest in finding out whether David Miscavige?
None at all.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I find that interesting that, there are people being held captive.
I doubt that.
At the Gold Base. Yeah, there's people that had to escape, like Marty Rathbun and...
Problems in Afghanistan, man. Big
I know.
issues in Afghanistan.
Those are huge. Yeah, I understand that. I'm working on this one little issue, which is, people being abused inside Scientology.
I doubt it.
What do you mean?
I don't think that's true.
Why? I've had a website for more than 10 years now called Xenu TV.
Hey man, you can look on the internet and find all kinds of wild craziness.
I know,
but that doesn't mean it's true.
I've interviewed a lot of former members.
It's true, right? Can you say that because it's on the internet?
Exactly. But when stories have been reported by the New Yorker or the New York Times or the St. Petersburg Times, yeah, but aren't you curious? If you're part of an organization that is so controversial, you're not. You're in Scientology.
I'm a Scientologist.
Right.
I'm not part of an organization.
Right. Well, I think Scientology considers themselves an organization. There's organized Scientology, and then there are independent Scientologists.
Absolutely.
This is about a food situation.
I know. But I was curious. about the recent New Yorker article.
To the sidewalk. On the street, you're asking about a religion.
I haven't read it.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Seems like a wonderful place to be
get a
asking.
book?
Interview to the sidewalk.
Well,
Why don't
I
you
do
get a
have
book?
books.
We don't want anyone to get hit by the car.
I don't blame you.
Why would you want a random person's opinion?
Random. Well, I'd be happy to talk to you. I mean, you're
No, I'm
you're
a
random enough too.
person. Get a book. Get a source thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I have read the books. I mean, I've read Dianetics.
Dude, it's context.
I know.
This is a
Please
street
interview on
party.
the sidewalk.
I know. And I'm a big fan, and it's nice to meet
Oh,
you.
that's sweet.
I would love to sit down and do an interview with you at some point. Would you? Well, I'm making a
doing
film.
good.
I'm making a film about Scientology.
So?
Yeah, but if you're doing good, what about the people who are being abused?
I can only tell you my
The people who sign a billion-year service contract.
Interviews on the sidewalk.
I'm not being hurt, so what do I care? I mean, that's generally the attitude that I find until they themselves get hurt, and then suddenly, the light starts to dawn, and they understand, well, things aren't quite as positive and cheery as I thought they were. And that's a hard thing to confront. It's very hard for people who are having successes in this organization to say, well, maybe I should look. Maybe I should read these articles. Maybe I should read these books. Maybe I should go online and sort through what's fake and what's real. Because there is a lot of real stuff out there that has been validated year after year after year by journalists worldwide.
What are your crimes, Mark? Yes, what are your crimes, Mark? Your crimes are hidden, they should be seen. Spin all out, Mark, and just come clean.
Well, there you go. And here I am. I saw a couple of questions while that was playing. One was Kirstie Alley nice? Well, I have a few Kirstie stories. None of them are warm and cuddly. But I mentioned I worked at Paramount when Family Ties was shooting, and the stage next door was Cheers. So I would go in and spend some time in there as well. Occasionally, I'd be called upon to work for a particular show for a day, filling in for somebody. And I remember this was when, the soundstage was pretty empty. Everyone was leaving. And I was walking out of the soundstage, and Kirstie was on a phone. There's no cell phones in those days, screaming at her husband, Parker, very angry. And I remember her saying, I make all the money in this family. And okay, I'm gonna walk out. And I'm sharing it now, but I would never go to the National Enquirer and say, "Have I got a story for you? Give me some money." It's just a memorable moment for me to see her furious on the phone. And then another time, she was out on the courtyard in Paramount. And I think I may have told this story once before, recently, because I seem to recall this part of it. We were on the old RKO studio lot where the Fred Astaire, Ginger Roger movies were made, and Citizen Kane, all these type of things. And Lucille Ball had bought it and turned it into Desilu. So there's one big grassy courtyard where Lucy's office was. And that was right next to the Cheers soundstage. And I came by one day, and Kirstie was sitting out on the lawn with a friend and a monkey. And I had to go over and say, "Oh, wow, a monkey." And she just glared at me. Okay, all right. I'll back away slowly from the monkey. And then when I was elected to the city council, she subscribed to my Twitter account. And I gave her a direct message. I said, "Hey, Kirstie, I'm on the council. if you ever want to sit down and talk about the future of the city, be happy to meet with you. And then she blocked me. So those are my few Kirsty anecdotes. Somebody contacted me when Kirsty died and said, hey, she used to eat at this little restaurant, kind of a mom and pop breakfast, lunch type of place. And very nice, very, very trendy little, but down to earth, not high priced. But this woman said that Kirsty was there all the time. And the waitresses hated her, and the staff hated her. So I went there and had breakfast the next day, and I asked about it. And people who were there saying, well, no, she was nice. She was a good tipper. They never had a problem. But that, your what do they say? Your experiences may be different. That's not what they say. I just can't remember what the cliche line is. And by the way, thank you for that super sticker. I really appreciate that. I got lots of bills coming up in a few days, and I need all the help I can get. Was that Ethan Supley? Yes, it was. I don't see that one right there, but let me take a look at this. I remember Natalie, Life After the Cult, saying she spent a couple of days working for Kirstie Alley after she left the cult. She found she was blocked by Alley. She'd never sent her one tweet. So Ethan Supley. I like him. He's a good actor. I like the fact that he at least stood there and talked in front of my camera for a while. It was a fun night. And, I interviewed, as you saw in the video, I interviewed Kirsty's kid, Parker. Is that his name? No. I don't remember what it was. Parker was the husband. I don't know if it's Parker Jr., but at any rate, he asked where I was from, and I said, well, I'm from XENU TV. So he granted me an interview, and I didn't want to give him a hard time. I mean, he's just a teenager. And so she opened this in 2011. Much ballyhooed. And by the way, I went back to find the exact date of the opening. And I found like their own promotional video of that same event. And I watched the whole thing. I didn't see me in it at all. What gives? I put my video up and Kirsty was in it. You'd think she would at least put in a random shot of me. I was a major part of the event. So here's some, I put up that footage before. Here's a little bit of footage that I've never shown because it's not that breathtaking. But I did meet Karen Black, and Karen Black was in Trilogy of Terror, which was one of the most fondly remembered TV movies from back in the 70s. Trilogy of Terror, where she is being chased around by a little devil doll with a knife. So I met her. The music is blaring so loud that we could not hear each other. We're shouting, trying to hear each other. Luckily, with the equipment that I have now, I could reduce that music so we can hear what's going on. It's not a breathtaking interview by any means, but I thought it'd be interesting to share this. So why don't we?
Karen Black. It's lovely to meet you. I'm a big fan. Trilogy of Terror is still one of my favorite TV horror movies of all time. Are you still involved in Scientology? I'm making a movie about Scientology, and I would love to sit down and do an interview sometime when there's not music blaring. All right. I'll try to get in touch with you.
Hurry up and I be hero. Hurry up and I be basic. ICB.
Okay. Oh. I'm Mark
Her
Bunker.
agency.
I have a website called CNewTV. I'm Mark Bunker. Nice to meet you.
Wow, that sounds wacky. All right. So I never got a hold of her. But that's fine. That's as it should be, probably. One piece of interview that I was looking for, and I did not find it. I did interview with the screenwriter of Battlefield Earth. I met him when there was a night about Scientology and Hollywood at the Silent Movie Theater in Los Angeles. And I've talked about this one other time, but there was a theater that I think from the 40s on showed nothing but silent films. And they had a live organist there. And it's the place that I used to go to watch Laurel and Hardy and Buster Keaton. And unfortunately, they played a lot of crappy stuff along with them, too. They had to pad it out with crazy cat cartoons that, weren't as memorable as you'd like. But it was always a fun night to be there with the organist and everyone having a great time. So at one point, a younger guy bought it and continued to show silent movies there, but he also did a lot of other things during the week, like Janet Klein, a singer I love. She was singing there on a pretty regular basis. And one night they did this thing on Scientology. And they asked me to be a part of it. I put together a couple clips, one about Battlefield Earth, after which the screenwriter got to share all of his stories. And when we finished with this, I asked him for an interview, and I came over to his place a few weeks later and sat down and did an interview. I don't have any clips of that right now, but I will have some at some point. But I thought we'd take a look at a couple of the videos that I did show that night at the event. So let's take a look at this one.
L. Ron Hubbard. Battlefield Earth becomes one of the most notorious flops in Hollywood history. While Scientology claims to have had no connection to the film, former Scientology executives say the church leader David Miscavige oversaw every single detail of the production.
He micromanaged that movie for months, every day. He'd come in giggling and he'd say, "You got to see this." And he's showing us the rushes from Battlefield Earth. He's literally getting daily rushes, the shots for the day. And he's, when he's done, pulling out his dictaphone.
Allow me to demonstrate.
And he is dictating all his commentary on every shot, shooting it back as an order to Arthur Services.
While you were still learning how to spell your name, I was being trained to conquer galaxies.
We saw a sneak preview just before it came out. There's like 12 people in this whole theater, and we watched the movie, and he's sitting next to me, and he's like, right when the initial credits are coming on, he's nudging me like, "Just look at this. I can't. This is. I'm telling you, this is a Hollywood movie." And okay, I mean, he was blown away. He thought it was the greatest thing that ever happened. When we went out into the parking lot on the way out, he says, "Get John on the phone," and he's going, "John, blow away, blow away. The old man would be so proud of you. I mean, this is the best thing that's happened for Scientology in probably 2 decades." I mean, he just went on and on and on.
Yes.
So flash forward opening weekend was the next weekend. Already on Saturday morning, every site was already talking about turkey of the century and all that other business, you know. He just cancels as if, you know, we're just going to forget what happened for the past 8 months of this matter of him micromanaging the whole thing and then worshiping John Travolta when the final product came out. And he's distancing himself. I mean, it's not we, it's them. And that cocksucker, JT, is now that cocksucker. He said Travolta took a salary and he said, for $10 million, we could have had proper CGI. The special effects is what destroyed that movie. He said Travolta's SP. He sabotaged this whole thing.
And what did Scientology's top celebrity think of the film?
Cruise turns to Miscavige and goes, "Hey Dave, what's up with JT?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "BE, man, Battlefield Earth." And Miscavige goes, "Oh, that piece of shit." He goes, "Listen, man, if I had anything to do with that, if I had any power, that thing never would have been made. I mean, he's got some out ethics, but it's getting taken care of." Good. Tom's like, "Good. Jesus Christ. I mean, God, I don't know what he's thinking." And Cruise is like, you know, and Miscavige just looks Travolta right under the bus.
So, that was a fun night. They showed one of the documentaries made by the fellow who made Shrinking World of L. Ron Hubbard. They showed the earlier one from 1963, I think, or maybe 61. That's just at St. Hill, and kind of follows people around as they're doing their little coursework. That's not as memorable to me as Shrinking World, because I mean, you got Hubbard on camera saying crazy stuff. And while I was there, the guy who made these films was sending me texts about background on them that I was relaying to the audience. So it was a fun night. And again, Shrinking World should be coming up maybe tomorrow. I have to take a look at how the 4K upgrade goes. It's not going to be brilliant, but I think it'll be acceptable. But no matter what, if you're watching Shrinking World, you're seeing a gem. Let's see here from Sheppy K. Hello, wow. Any idea about Shelley's infamous disappearance or location? No, I have no info other than what we've thought for years, that she's up at Big Bear. But I don't know. There may have been some more answers about that in recent years. I have not been following the Where's Shelley. I like it that she's just disappeared, because Where's Shelley is so much fun to say. I gave a review on Google to the Fort Harrison Hotel and said, when you check in, don't forget to play part of the long-running interactive mystery game and ask, "Where's Shelley?" And I always enjoy that. That's still up there. Eric wonders if Lucille Ball was ever a Scientologist. No. They may have tried to get her in. She may have been on that big hit list with Red Skelton and Jack Benny and Ed Sullivan and all the other stars that Hubbard wanted to be brought in. I forget the name of that operation, but he was going to reward mightily anyone who brought in a major celebrity to Scientology. They never had any success till Travolta. 49ers for life, 49ers fan for life says, "I'm so thankful Marty gave so much before he went back into Scientology." Yeah, and I try to think of that. And I've got maybe 4 to 6 hours worth of interviews with him that haven't been seen yet from that period. Here's another clip that was for my movie, the same way that Marty clip was shot for Knowledge Report. This is Mark Ebner talking about how much fun he had sending around the movie script. Let's take a look at that.
I knew they were making this movie, Battlefield Earth, and so did a bunch of us. And I got my hands on an early draft of the script. And what I did was I took the title page off that script and I called it Dark something or other. I gave it a fake name with a fake screenwriter, and I sent it out to various studios, various agencies, and professional screenplay readers, and had them do what's called coverage and write analysis of this script. And I put it out. I was for the magazine I was working for was Black Book magazine out in New York, and I sent it out, and they didn't know that it was Battlefield Earth, and professional script readers came back one by one, and they just literally said, "This is the worst thing we had. Pass. We wouldn't even entertain producing something like this. This is bullshit. This is by the numbers. This is horrible." And 100% of the feedback that I got from the professionals, professional script analysts, was, "No, we would never make a movie like this. This is one of the worst scripts we have ever read." And I published that very coverage. And so that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Mark did a lot of fun stuff like that, like going undercover and taking courses for a couple of weeks to write his expose about Scientology. So he was a major contributor in being suppressive and getting out important stories and fun stories about Scientology. I've seen a couple things that I saw and noticed that from Kelly, saying that she has some questions marked for later. Well, if you want to throw them up on the screen, I'll be happy to try to answer those. On your channel, there's a Survivor press conference. Yeah, with William Fry. Sounded like he has a heartbreaking story. Do I have an interview with him? No. He was a fella that I didn't really know. In fact, I don't even remember seeing that on my channel for a while. I'll have to dig around and find it, because that was a really nice event where we had press from all around the world coming to hear a number of people tell their stories of surviving. And at the end, I was asked to read a couple letters from parents to their kids, and that was that was something that I was really proud to have been a part of. I'm so glad that they invited me to come and kind of MC that thing. But good Lord, where'd that video go? Do I have the? I have to see where that is. Maybe it's on my channel and I'm just not seeing it. I've got so much on there. I was looking at the total the other day. It was like 357 videos or something like that. Like, oh, well, I guess I've been doing this for a while. Yes. Oh, God bless you. Miss Pillow, is it? For the super sticker. I appreciate that. And as far as posting the link to that video, I appreciate that. Help the old guy out, since he doesn't remember where he puts all these things. Thank you, YouTube watcher. I appreciate that. What other stories did I have here? I don't think there's any other video that I wanted to share. Nope. But I've had fun talking about witnesses. I see 525 videos Xenu TV. Okay, I stand corrected. All right. Very nice to know. And going still 525 and going strong. There's plenty more to get up there. I've got as I mentioned, a couple more projects like the I'm a Scientologist video, and you should see some of those fairly soon. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And hey, thanks everybody for joining me here. A super thanks for the super thanks. That's a huge help. And I'll be back tomorrow night with something. I promise. I promise. I've been doing a lot of just working like a Sea Org member and doing all-nighters, trying to finish things. And at some point, you just wear down. Like last night, I was up all night. I had to go out and do a few things this morning, but I got back by noon and collapsed and slept for a few hours, and here I am. So we'll start it all again and have something fun for you tomorrow night. Is Marty really back in Scientology? Rachel asks. I thought he was being paid to shut his trap, just like Debbie Cook. I don't know if he's back taking courses in auditing, stuff like that, but he's certainly back doing their dirty work. He's certainly back, posting videos or appearing in videos for Scientology to smear everyone that kind of helped him when he was out, like Mike Rinder. And that's always sad to see. Kind of understandable, but Marcy, thanks. Gifted 5 Xenu TV memberships. God bless you. By the way, we had a huge leap. I was stunned. As like a week ago, I saw we've got how many? 51 members. And then yesterday I saw it was up to like 240 some. So God bless you. That's sweet. Nice to see that there's some growth here. I hope to keep building and get some more exciting things to bring you. And always forward, always upward. Something like that. So my voice gave out about 30 seconds into this thing. I think I'm going to call it a night. Unless there's other, are there any other comments that I missed here, Kelly, that I should be responding to? Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, I'm not sure how that's pronounced rather. With Eldrum, will there be more episodes of Bunky and Magoo? Will there? Yes. Yes, that's what I'm going to be debuting a new theme song. So Bunky and Magoo will be back shortly, and with a fresh coat of paint and a lovely bouncy theme song to entertain us all. I like pronounced better. Okay. Here, I can't agree more, NM. I deserve good things coming my way because I'm such a dynamic person. I guess the only thing you could say is I'm a national treasure, for heaven's sakes. I'm proud to serve. All right. So questions done. It's been a lot of fun being with you tonight. And I will see you again tomorrow night. And God bless us, one and all.
What are your crimes, Mark? Yes, what are your crimes, Mark? Your crimes are hidden, they should be seen. Spin all out, Mark, and just come clean.